This is Before We Break Up Again, a new podcast with me, Alfie Brown, and her, Jessie Cave, who doesn't like recording intros. This is an exercise in self-excavation, totally unvarnished conversation, and this quite upbeat intro is wholly inappropriate given the timbre of what the podcast actually has ended up being. In this episode, we struggle with our identities as two people trying to do a podcast for the first time, and then talk about our instincts as parents and how it affects the dynamics of our relationship. I've put some music in the bed here, and it's building a sense of anticipation that is going to make this feel... and she also has PMDD. We mentioned that just in case... I mean, she's slightly ruined the intro, but that's absolutely fine. Tapping a little pad at PMDD at me. It's a fucking symptom, you tapping that pad at me, love. Love is just something I won't say in the podcast. It's quite fun though, isn't it, between friends? So anyway, enjoy the podcast. This is not how it will be. This is Before We Break Up Again.
Well done. That was great.
Yeah, and what's that?
Well, there's so many dilemmas to doing a podcast. First of all, how do you get two microphones to not creak and make strange sounds? How do we both be a nice volume? How do we manage to look at each other and not look like we hate each other? How do we, face our bodies? Do we face into the camera because everything has to be filmed nowadays? Or do we look at each other and actually engage with each other? There's so many problems, not to mention just exhaustion that comes from life, and we're having to listen to each other be kind of fake versions of ourselves. And then you sit far back, and then I have to look at you this way, and then I hate how my face looks when I'm looking back at you, and then you get annoyed when I'm bitching about positions. And now we've tried this like 18 million times, and we're both tired. So welcome to the podcast. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's desperately difficult, especially when you're so hyper self-aware. And people who do well on... The dichotomy seems to be that the people who do well online lack the requisite self-awareness to overthink things. But self-awareness is a huge part of being good at your art. So they seem in contradiction with each other, which I think is the whole problem that we're sort of encountering here.
Yeah, we're both incredibly... I'm a reluctant perfectionist, and you are a perfectionist. I think I probably am a perfectionist, but I've for years said, no, I'm not. I just put anything out.
You are quite good like that. I don't think you are a perfectionist. Well, I think you are vain. I don't think you're a perfectionist.
I'm incredibly vain, and I'm also incredibly worried about how I am perceived.
Yeah. Which is that not vanity?
Yeah.
Is that what is that? Is that kind of vanity?
Both. Whereas you are, and that's evident in how we have failed to put out a podcast, even though we've done so many attempts.
Yes, it's quite hard not to listen back to it and go, fuck me, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, fucking shut up. What are you talking about?
Well, that's why so many people have a thing and a theme and what's on the menu and...
But these... But these themes are all bollocks because nobody ever sticks to them. They go, oh, hi, we're talking about... And you get these... I've listened to a lot, and a lot of the couples on the couples podcasts are great, and a lot of them are friends, and a lot of them are very talented comedians, and etc. But there is a departure from their natural conversational rhythm, which you could argue is a good thing, because who wants to sit and listen to two people have an honest conversation about, who wants to listen to two people hang around in the doldrums of their everyday life for an hour?
Yeah, so
hopefully you, because it's what you fucking got.
Well, I think that's the problem. We thought we were going to be doing a comedy podcast.
Well, I certainly thought we were going to be doing that, yeah.
Whereas I think I'm doing kind of a crime scene investigation podcast about our relationship.
Yeah, you want to wade through the wreckage of various arguments and look for artifacts and I think there's a lot of humour to be had. I think the thing is that so many of these podcasts, comedy podcasts, are just incessant cackling at each other and so much much amusement being shared between comedians. And I've been on, like, I'm great friends with a lot of these people who laugh a lot on their podcasts, and it's great. But when I'm on their podcasts, I do feel like I have to G myself into the energy of like, right, I'm going to fucking laugh now.
It's a bit like being on a panel show.
Because I want people to know that I think they're funny and that I like them.
Yeah.
But really, I think if I was being myself on a podcast, I would have this rhythm. And actually, there might be a lot of humor in this rather surly, like you darting your eyes down to my elbow as I slightly creak the desk and do something that nobody noticed except you. What was that?
Well, no, it's because I've done enough podcasts to know that people are anal about those things.
I think the sound quality is good enough.
But I get really affected by people commenting horrible stuff. I really wish I didn't. We've all had to learn in this industry. We've all now had to learn a million different jobs under the role of artist. We have to know how to podcast, how to edit, how to video design, product design. We need to learn a million things, and it's exhausting.
I just wish there was some way of curing you of this care about what people in the comments that.
No, I do care, but it's just more about I don't want to put out something if I know there's a million creaks at the table on this podcast, I know when we put it out, I'm going to be like, there's going to be comments about the creaks on the table. I just want to feel assured that I've done everything possible to make sure that if there are bad comments, then I've done everything possible to stop them happening, you know? Anyway, we really tried to do a podcast for years, and something has always held us back.
Each other.
Yeah. And I also am worried about doing a podcast with you, and you've been very good about vocalizing this, because we're worried that it will break us up. Genuinely.
Well, just that it will cause fuck. Because if you start worrying about something you've said on a podcast, or you worry about people commenting mean things in the wherever they do it on the, I hate you being hurt, and I hate you worrying. And actually, this is kind of the same as our kids. Two of the 4 kids that we have are ill at the moment. And there's a thing that you have to really fight against as a parent, I think, when they're ill, not to get angry. And like almost with them, like, oh my God, your pain hurts me so much that I actually take it out on you. And it's a really interesting thing when you catch yourself in the middle of it. And your kids go, ow, and it's going, fucking why? Why are you ill? I remember my dad doing it to me a lot, and, you know, I understand, and being annoyed at him at the time and understanding it now, just this kind of ferocious and intense love that just doesn't know how to express itself properly. And when you get these I just wish there was some way to make you believe that, you know, you're brilliant and you'll be fine. And these people, nobody who comments, and I really mean this, nobody who comments negatively on anything on the internet is mentally well. That is the behavior of a loser. It is what losers do. And I feel deeply, deeply sorry. We have these people on tattle.life that talk about like all bitching website. Like, these are sad people.
I know, but I wouldn't have known about them unless you had told me about them.
Well, I was trying to write a joke about them.
I know. Well, you did. You wrote a whole bit about them.
I know, but the best joke about it was about how they said that I was ugly. And I just think that's so funny, because they're not people who contribute to internet forums aren't going to be supermodels, are they? No.
What was your line? It was like, it's not the natural dwelling of the supermodel.
Something. Yeah, I can't remember.
I agree about when they're sick. It's really hard not to immediately think, but that's my day tomorrow. If you're sick, that's my day. I'm paying for the nursery, and if you can't go, then. And
well, yeah, but that is selfish.
It is selfish.
I mean, I was angry because they were like,
you love them.
Because I love them so much. I don't want them to be in pain.
No, whereas my first thought is, no, but I've rigidly organised my week to try and make sure I can spend as much time as possible with you and also try and make some money. And if I can't do those couple of hours tomorrow, then I'm fucked. But it's almost like they almost teach us. They teach us patience the whole time, but they almost get sick at moments that it's so annoying that they're going to be sick tomorrow on this day when I happen to have something in the evening and I happen to have a lot going on tomorrow when I never do usually. It's almost like they are going to be off school because of those things.
Yes, they've perceived your absence and it's weakened their antibodies and now they're ailing because they anticipate your departure. Obviously tomorrow's not the end. I mean, obviously I've got to work on this and you've got to work on that. And if they're sick, it stymies both of our
I have to learn those
attempts
lines.
to... Well, you don't have to learn your lines because you're doing a thing in the theatre and you're on book, so you're fine.
I know, but this is going to be my last ever theatre performance, so I want to make it good because I'm obviously going to be disgraced after tomorrow.
It's not going to be your last ever theatre performance.
No, genuinely, Alfie, it is. It's my swan song.
It isn't your swan song.
It is.
Swans can't even sing.
We'll get on to why it's my swan song in a minute. But okay, right. So that was a very long-winded first 10 minutes of us saying we're in agony, but we're doing a podcast and we're doing this.
I'm not in agony.
No, but we've had a little fight just before this.
This is just our relationship short-circuiting as it adapts to a new reality.
No, what I think is the most interesting thing about the last hour is this confrontation with the fact this is not probably going to be a comedy podcast. And I think if you just let that go.
I have now. I think I've made that perfectly clear in the last 10 minutes.
Okay, good. Because I think you'll find it a lot easier to do if we just accept it's just going to be me crying for an hour.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's going to be me talking about traumas, talking about how you have somehow caused my traumas, how you are somehow to blame for my traumas, how I am to blame for your traumas and your
the thing is
grief.
That sort of thing would be fine to say if I've put it in the comedy section.
It will be funny. It just maybe it'll take us a few episodes.
Fucking Nanette's in the comedy section. I think we can get away with this, can't we?
Yeah. This is very tender. I like it. You're being very tender.
Yeah. Well, I've completely...
Unlike your massages.
You don't like massages. That's why I don't give them to you.
I do like massages. Well, no, I like stroking.
Yeah, that's not a massage.
I would like you to stroke me more.
As soon as I try and actually put pressure on the musculature of your back with my hands, no, painful, and you can't handle it.
No, because what I want is a loving massage from my boyfriend.
That's what I give you.
No, you don't. You become this kind of warrior physio that just puts all your weight on me. And it's like with your knuckles. It's like a sports. I don't want a sports massage. I don't want a sports deep tissue massage. I want a sensual, loving stroke massage.
I've never even approached sports massage with you. It's just as soon as there's an indentation in the flesh on your back, you wince in pain.
It's because I'm an athlete and I've got lots of injuries.
Athletes, believe it or not, have sports massages. That's where the word comes from.
Yeah.
You don't like massages.
Well,
you want me to do is you want me to lie on your back.
I want you to just do the figure of 8 with your finger on my back over and over again.
Oh, yeah, but you quite like my sort of period massages where I sort of...
What?
When you're on your period and I give you a lower back massage.
Yeah, that's all right. But no, you've done that once. You did that once. And
that's just not true. Don't try and pretend that I'm not actually a deeply... I've given you more than one. First of all, you only just started having periods. So in the time that I've known you, like until recently, one of the major stats of our relationship was that we've had more children in our relationship than you've had periods.
Well, at one point, yes.
Yeah, after the birth of the 4th child.
No, that's not true. I mean, it's funny. It's almost true, but it's not true. It's not accurate. But yeah, it's true.
It was.
No, it's not. I've had more than 4 periods before I had 4 kids, Alfie.
No, but while I knew you. In our relationship, you hadn't had any periods. You didn't have periods.
Less than 10. Less than 10.
Mm-hmm.
Not 4. Mm-hmm. I average about 3 a year.
Another good stat was
And I was
that
pregnant for 4 years.
At the point of the birth of our last child, you had been pregnant for 3 years of our then 8-year relationship.
Oh yeah, 3 years.
Is
Yeah.
that right? 18 months times 2 is, yeah.
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 It's a long time to be pregnant.
It is a long time to be pregnant.
I think it's about
But
time. It's
long
about
enough.
time to knock me up again, okay? It's about time. My body is screaming for it.
You do want to be pregnant again, don't you?
I would get pregnant every year if I could. Every year I'd get pregnant.
Could you?
No. Yeah, definitely. You could, if I didn't breastfeed, I could get pregnant well, no, my periods didn't come back very quickly after birth, so I probably couldn't get pregnant every year. Those women who can, though, fucking great. I would get pregnant every year until I can't have babies anymore.
Yeah.
I would have 18 children if I could. I don't know why. I just think it's like, I don't even think I want the kids. I just want the pregnancy. I love pregnancy.
That's a really kind of brave thing to admit, by which I mean it's insane and I can't believe you just said it.
No, I'm so glad I've got kids.
Yeah.
But I really love the phenomenon of being pregnant. The biological genius of pregnancy.
Yeah, it is absolutely remarkable and is something. And I always think it's a bit ungrateful whenever there's men can never understand the pain of childbirth. Yeah, that's like, yeah, so we'll also never understand the sort of majesty and the beauty and the transcendental joy and the spiritual connection to the universe that it delivers you. But yeah, it's a bit painful. Fucking whatever.
How do you feel when you hear people say, like couples say, "Oh, we got pregnant in March. We had the baby and we."
I like it, and I think that's how we. And you don't know this, but we had a wank last night.
You're not meant to be wanking.
I know. I'm
saving up for the baby.
I didn't really. It was just, I know that we've decided this is going to be a serious podcast now, but I did take the opportunity to make a joke just then.
Okay. Well done. I think we're back on track.
I think in our relationship or on the podcast?
On the podcast relationship.
I must stress that we can't stop every 5 minutes and talk about how it's going. Because when I hear people do that, it sends me so angry.
I think it's okay on the first one to talk about how it's going.
I'm completely done for the rest of this episode talking about how it's going.
Okay, you're riding the bike now. You've learned how to ride and you're on your way.
Yeah. You've taught me how to podcast as myself. And I'm very grateful for that. I feel like I've been set free.
Oh.
Because before, oh my God, it was so sweet, listener. If you'd have seen it on the first episode, I came with a funny story about looking for a pub to read my book last night. And the rugby being on in all the places. And I was going to talk about, how boring rugby is. And you can tell it's a bad sport because Sky don't want it. It's on terrestrial TV. And you can always tell a bad sport when they play music after they score. That means it's a shit sport. And again, here's another joke that I was going to try and wrangle in, which is like football. They don't play anything after you score a goal unless you go and watch QPR because they're shit. So that's fun. That's good fun. Like it's jokes. It works
so
as a bit.
Mean.
And Jessie stopped me halfway through this bit that I'd sort of semi-prepared to be good fodder for the podcast. And you said, what did you say?
I don't like that.
No, you said, I don't care. And it wasn't, it was like, oh, I don't care. And it really, it's so rare that somebody can hurt my feelings. I know. But you really hurt my feelings.
But to be fair, Alfie, shh, they're asleep.
They're not asleep.
They are asleep.
They're listening at the door, Jessie.
No, they're not.
They love this podcast.
I didn't mean I don't care. I meant I don't care about rugby.
I know.
You were kind of claiming that you don't care about rugby. I was agreeing with you, but it did come across like I was being very mean.
I don't care about rugby, no.
But no, I'm so sorry. Because it was entertaining and it was good fodder, but I don't want to do fodder.
Like they're so funny. Like, have a word, lads. It's so fun. Mike and Vittorio are so fun. They're always just being funny the whole time. I don't know where they get the energy from.
Okay, this is too revealing. You got to stop. Bottle it back up. Thank you.
But I'm not being
Bottle it
revealing.
up.
I'm not,
Bottle up your vulnerabilities now.
But I also don't. I don't begrudge them that.
Okay.
I'm happy for them to be funny on their podcast. And you're sort of right. It doesn't suit me to bring a bit to a podcast. This is me. I'm not like, can't do it.
I think that it just would be a lot more fun, even though it sounds like it wouldn't be fun, to just be real.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I don't...
For better or for worse.
I don't mind if we're being revealing about our vulnerabilities and stuff. If we're just... we're not going to kill ourselves to do a podcast. And I don't want to sound ungrateful. Like, it's an amazing thing to be able to do a podcast and to have people to listen to it. It's such a great thing. But there are so many comedy couple podcasts. Like, why add to it if we're not going to add something different?
Yeah, that's true. I think that there's some really brilliant yet frivolous podcasts. So let's add a little bit of fucking quim to the mix.
I don't know what that means.
It's like...
It's okay. I don't want to know what quim means. It sounds really disgusting.
It's not disgusting. It's beautiful.
Oh, right. I thought it was something really not... I don't know what I thought it was.
It's vagina.
Anyway, we're not going to have any menus or, like bits.
There's something wrong with having menus.
No, but we're not going to have any bit. We're just going to be chatting, and we're going to maybe talk about one big thing an episode, like today.
What have you decided that you'd settled on? Because today the topic that we were choosing, we got
three. We got three possible...
toing and froing between, and they're quite a similar vibe. Or...
Shall I tell you what the three options are?
No,
for debut podcast.
No, you can tell us.
But then the viewer will know.
You can tell us too.
Okay. Well, we could either talk about my recent diagnosis of PMDD.
Mm-hmm. Fans of Married at First Sight will be familiar.
Which is
Yep.
Menopausal dysmorphia disease. No, I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is?
No, I actually don't know what it stands for.
Hey Siri, what is PMDD?
Okay, I found this on the web for what is PMDD. Check it out.
Check it out.
That's the wrong way to be speaking to somebody. Check it out. Is that what your doctor said to you? I'm afraid you've got PMDD. Check it out. Oh God. Where's it gone? Anyway, I've lost it. That is a nightmare. Anyway, it's premenstrual dysphoric something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dysphoric disorder.
Premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's like you get such bad PMT that you get dysphoria.
Mm-hmm. So what I have to confess, I don't know what dysphoria means.
I think it's when I'm not actually sure myself, but I think it's when it's like body dysmorphia is you have a wrong and warped sense of your own body image. So dysphoria would be a warped sense of the surrounding world. Hey Siri, what's dysphoria? Gender dysphoria is the sense of unease or dissatisfaction that may be, okay. So what's just fucking Jesus Christ almighty?
I should really know.
I mean, you should. Dysphoria or dysphoric mood is a mental state in which a person has a profound sense of unease or dissatisfaction. While not a mental health diagnosis on its own, dysphoria is a symptom associated with a variety of mental illnesses, some of which may include stress, anxiety, depression, and substance use disorders. Check it out.
Right. Well, I don't
I'm going to put some music under that, I think.
Okay, yeah, cool. I don't have substance abuse disorder.
You do? Look at the fucking size of that almond milk.
Oh, yeah, this almond
carton.
milk, I guess. I'm addicted to almond milk.
Yeah. You could be addicted to worse things, but you're an addict nonetheless.
I am an addict to this. I am. Alpro is my god. But
I have a swig, actually.
Yeah, you can have a swig. So yeah, we were going to talk about that, which has been quite debilitating in a way. I think I've had it since
I've known you, yeah.
No, I know genuinely I have not.
That was another joke.
Because I didn't have periods, so I wouldn't have had it.
It was another joke, Jessie.
Oh, right, sorry.
I didn't mean it.
Well, stop doing the jokes. This isn't a joke podcast anymore. This is a serious
I have to say
trauma
that
podcast.
I'm being myself and sometimes I make jokes.
Yeah, and you are very, very jokey because you're a joker. You're a big old joker.
When do you think you got it?
Alfie Clown. I got it after I got it after 2 was born.
I'm not editing that out.
He's almost 3.
I'm just going to put a pin in that for a second to say we're referring to our kids so that you know which one we're talking about, because I'm not expecting you by name to know what age they are, as 2, 4, 8 and 10. That is their ages, and we will also be referring to them as their ages by name, if that makes any sense. Not a very good sentence, was it?
They're clever. They'll get it.
2 will become 3 in a month, and you just heard his name, and then you can find his name on my Instagram because I was showing 10 and 8 earlier. Alison Becker, the Liverpool goalkeeper, wrote underneath the Instagram post where we said his name. Love the name, same as his, because we both love Alison Becker.
You need to stop burping.
But Jessie, when oh my god, when I've done a good job stifling a burp, and you tell me that I need to stop burping. I haven't burped. I've literally stopped myself from burping so that I didn't burp. And then you say, you need to stop burping. I haven't stopped. It's gaslighting. You just gaslit me. It's like when I'm saying, Jessie, will you not do that, please? And you say, don't shout at me. I go, I'm not shouting.
You do shout. You don't realise you're shouting. You have a loud, booming voice.
I'm whispering. I'm talking to you in an exasperated whisper is what I'm doing.
Okay. The other day I was walking down the street and somebody just said the loudest burp as he was walking by, but he didn't look like he should be burping. Like he was he was in a suit. He had his earpods in. AirPods. He had his earpods in and he did this huge burp. And it was so funny because he looked so deeply, instantly ashamed. And it's because when you're listening to something, you don't realise. You just...
Oh, I've done that so many times.
So funny.
I once did one in the ticket hall of Oxford Circus tube station, and the belch bounced round all of the walls. It felt like it took about 6 or 7 seconds for the belch to cease making a noise. Like it came back to me. It left me that way and went all the way around the ticket hall and came back. It was, and I felt absolutely ashamed of myself.
You burp so much.
I do quite a funny thing. One of my little quirks as a boyfriend is that what I'll like to do is do one of the most sort of insanely loud, unhealthy, desperate belches, and then go, sorry, I still burp. I don't know if anybody heard that. And it makes me laugh every time. And I have to say, it also makes our children laugh. Jessie, does it make you laugh?
It does. But
it's one of those things that you don't love, but you'd miss if I was dead.
Yeah, it's so part of the fabric of you that I don't even notice it anymore.
Maybe one day, if we make it to episode 50, I'll treat you to that particular.
It must be a genetic thing though, because
bit of my repertoire.
4 has the burping thing that you have. He's able to burp on command.
I think he is. Yeah, he is. He's my representative among them.
I don't even remember what we were saying now. PMDD.
PMDD is, what we were talking about. And you've been diagnosed with it. Is there a cure, Jessie?
Nope. There is a cure. You can go on the pill, but I can't go on the pill. Because
you don't want to. Because you want another baby.
Because I want to have triplets.
Yeah.
I need to have triplets. I'm sorry. If I would happily, this is where you now get scared of me.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely...
presumptuous use of the word get, but carry on.
Okay. I would love to be a surrogate.
Yep.
I would love to adopt.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to foster, but I would love the chance to be a surrogate for someone and have twins or triplets and carry multiples. Can you imagine how great that would be to have multiples? Some people would obviously be like, no, I would hate that. But just the medical feat of having 3 humans in your stomach growing. I'm sorry, that's my
Please don't
apogee.
apologize. It's just the thing is that you seem to want to add as just like it's as soon, and you are due another child because I feel like I've really made progress with my routine, with my work. I'm drinking like not loads, but not nothing. I have a kind of fairly healthy relationship with it. I'm working. I'm motivated to work. I've written some good bits recently. I'm really happy with them. I'm working with some other comedians at the moment. But everything after a few years of tumult, after the birth of what I refer to as our latest child, and then my cancellation and the deaths of several people I love. Like, I now feel like I'm back on some sort of track, or approaching being back on track. And it is exactly that point that you become your most broody. It's like there's some disruptor in your uterus that goes, let's destroy the fabric of our daily working life.
It's my age. It's my body saying you have a few more years before you won't be able to have children anymore.
But you've done your bit.
No, I know I've done my bit. No, I don't. But I still can't stop that voice.
Yeah, sure.
I can't stop that biological clock.
Yeah,
I just can't. I can't quiet that. But
I have a lot of sympathy for that, and I know that things don't make logical sense, or that you understand that they might be. It's just it's a primal thing. I also have primal urges.
I know you do. But I can't go on the pill because I had what's called a hemiplegic migraine, whatever you call migraine, when I was a teen playing tennis, and I had basically like a mini stroke, which means I'm not allowed to go on the pill because they do something to your blood, risk of stroke, blood clots, whatever. So I've never been able to go on the pill. I don't want to go on antidepressants because they send me even more mad than I am.
Yeah.
So I am slightly fucked.
Your situation.
But I think it's more, I just like the feeling of being pregnancy because it's an escape from me. And I really hate being me. So it's just an escape.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I will change it from the comedy section, I think. I think I'll just switch it up to... I wonder if I can't remember what it said on the drop-down menu on iTunes now, but...
Crime?
Is there a bleak as shit? Just fucking bleak as all fucking shit. And the thing is that you started this podcast by saying, well, they're ill, and you get sad because you get frustrated because you've got to work tomorrow. Do you... are you completely...
No, okay.
Uncoupled from any sense of pragmatism?
No,
about how much it would destroy your ability to work, and how much of your identity comes from your job and your work and your work life, and how your hunger for pregnancy and children has actually now precluded you from as much throwing yourself into your work as you would have liked to have done.
Do you mean destroyed my career?
I don't mean destroyed your career, because you are prone to hyperbole when it comes to...
Isn't it hyperbole?
No, it's hyperbole. Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. No, of course. I'm very driven, very ambitious, but in the last few years, things have taken a toll, and I really did manage to keep up with my workload, writing and doing things up until baby 3. And I think what's knocked me in the last few years, not to mention your
say it,
your life
say
stuff.
It. Say it.
I can't
say the word.
No, I can't say it.
Cancellation.
Your cancellation and the deaths of loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought that I would be able to do more work and do it all. I thought I would be able to do that. And I now know that is just a lie. You cannot do it all.
So now you realize that, like, you understand that you want to be pregnant, but you understand that you shouldn't be, because it would end up making you more sad in the long run.
Yeah, I think it's and this is a really exposing thing to say, but I just think there's something chemical for me about being pregnant. It changes I am happy. I'm really happy when I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And I really haven't been happy in so long.
Yeah.
That it's like, I just want that high. And it's so selfish. And that's why I absolutely won't be getting pregnant. But I think it's just more that I don't do drugs, I don't drink. It's just more that, I just want some kind of kick, please.
Yeah. It's, they say drugs are expensive. Pregnancy is a very expensive high.
The other thing is, just to caveat that, the true joy, I love being a mum so much. Like it's my purpose. It's the reason I'm here. I'm not religious, but I do believe that.
It gives you meaning.
It gives me they bring me and you bring me so much happiness, and so do other people in my life. But it's not like I'm saying I'm sad and I'm unhappy and everything is miserable. I just want to get pregnant because I want that chemical high. No,
Yeah.
It's that they give me so much joy every day. It's like, no, but I can have, like, the other day I was feeling, it was a really, really difficult morning. Our 8-year-old was very difficult on the way to school. I was feeling so stressed and angry and so depressed because of exhaustion and all these other things. And then we were walking home and 4 said, just stop. He made me stop and look up at the sky and just was silent for a second and just said, Mama, look, as if it was obvious what he was looking at. And he was like, there are tadpoles in the clouds. And I know that kids do amazing things all the time. They say amazing things, but those things every day, they make up my life. And that's why I write a diary. I write everything down. I write every single thing they do down. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it. And it's like, if that is, my career is slightly fucked at the moment, but at least I've got those moments and I'm happy for that to be the sacrifice, really.
I feel like the situation that you're in, and I do really feel for you a lot of the time with it, because I know how strong your drive is in these two opposing directions. I really empathize with it, not with the specificity of the directions that you're being dragged in, but just the difficulty of wanting two things that seem in opposition.
And there's something about reclaiming as well. So like with our third baby, the pandemic baby, with the birth. Do you remember how it just did not go the way we wanted? It was so traumatizing, that birth and him in the neonatal unit. And so that's why I wanted to get pregnant so quickly after.
I feel, I
wanted to reclaim that birth experience.
Yeah, but again, you were a lot more affected by that than I was, because I think, like, I know loads of people who have babies and it doesn't go straightforwardly.
No, I know, but it was the birth after my brother had died. It was such a symbolic thing for me, and it really deeply affected me.
There was a lot of stuff in the scenery, I suppose, that was affecting.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was that I kind of wish for you sometimes that we could just add a few more hours into days. I often feel like that for me, and I do. I don't have as much on as you for various reasons, and I don't, look after them quite as many hours as you do.
I don't have anything on. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, but you want to. I mean, I want to work, and then I want to parent in the evenings and at weekends, or like but I'm really okay. I don't experience guilt with going away to work for the day.
Exactly.
I am. I have that blessing, and I feel like it's fine. I suppose because that's how I was raised. I think you've been raised with this wonderfully attentive mother who made it her life to be your mum, and that gives her meaning. Still, she does an incredible amount of mothering to our children. Yeah. And it gives her a tremendous amount of meaning and joy, I hope. So she says. And you kind of want to be like that.
Yeah, I am a full-time mum. I want to be a full-time mum.
But you don't just want that.
No.
You also want
I want to write.
You also want to be in, the new sitcom that's out, whatever.
No, not anymore.
Well, you know what I mean? Whatever bullshit hypothetical program you want to be, you wouldn't mind being in that. You wouldn't mind writing a book. You wouldn't mind doing a show in Edinburgh. You wouldn't mind being a creative.
Well, I think I've just...
and finding outlets to express yourself. And that time, the time that it takes to do that is in competition with the time that it takes to raise your children. I'm fine with separating that time. You know, I don't mind it. I feel like I have a pretty great relationship with them, and I get to work, and I don't.
And you're very present you're very present when you're here. You are very present.
I know, and I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, I think you read. You probably seem like you're a lot more absent than you are.
Well, that's because you do an overwhelming, because you don't like to ever be. I mean, to be fair to me, I do say to you, if you want to go out, then go out. I've said to you, you should go on holiday by yourself, and I'll stay here and look after them because I feel like you need that time. I think I suggest you go on holiday with your mum, because I think it would be great for you and your mum to have some time, like fucking about and being
not child rearing,
having fun and not child rearing, and to understand that life isn't all about working in the service of other people. But
it's just a different way. I think
maybe I'm offering that because I know that I want that.
You want that, yeah. I just tell you this now. There is absolutely no way I will ever go on holiday on my own.
What about with your mum?
Yeah, but she wouldn't want to. She'd be like, we've got stuff to do.
I fantasize. I've started entering Euro Millions recently. It's probably not indicative of a great mental state, but whatever. And I fantasize a little daydream. It's not too preoccupying. I'm not spending too much time on it, but I do have a little daydream about what I'd buy. And I fantasize about putting you and your mum and BB, whatever, on a plane, and it'd be really nice, and you'd all be really impressed. It would just be great.
That's really sweet.
But then also it would be better if I'd actually earned the money. And, you know,
I'm really not that into...
like and subscribe.
I'm really not that into money stuff. Like, I don't think I would want to... I feel very on edge whenever we do anything remotely indulgent. And
yes, but I think in terms of if we're addressing primal instincts that have some sort of foundation in gender norms, then my desire to be able to provide nice things for you is lurking in me as probably
I know.
It's a vestige of a...
Do you know, the funny thing is...
caveman instincts.
Yeah, but we both are artists. We both were never meant to earn that much money. Like, I would, if I had not got...
I was meant to earn a lot of money.
I don't think you were. No,
I don't think I was either.
And I don't think I was. I think I've got derailed by...
I know. Can I just say that I do think I was meant to earn more than this, though.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I was meant to earn a lot of money. I was definitely meant to earn... I'd be happy with, like, 100 grand a year is not a lot of money. But it's...
Can you imagine?
It's so much more money than I've ever earned.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't have got Harry Potter, I would have finished art school, and I would have become a very strange performance artist. Like clowning on the South Bank.
Yes, I can see that for you. Although you would have... No, I think you're too good at story. You would have been like a playwright or something. Really weird, a writer of weird plays.
Which is what I've kind of ended up doing with my shows.
Then you'd have probably ended up scripting you'd have been Rebecca Lenkovitz.
Who the hell is that?
She wrote a play for the National called A Night Season, amongst various other works, and now is, I think, developing the adaptation of Deborah Levy's Hot Milk for film.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
No, I am certain.
We're all very excited about that in the Brown household.
I'm certain that writing TV and film is just never going to happen for me anymore. I just hate... all of the experiences I've had doing that have just been so terrible.
I agree, but I also don't think we're too far away from, like, the feasibility of.
Look at our body language.
It's because we're trying to lean forward without touching the desk. Honk.
It's like we're in straitjackets.
I'm not in a straitjacket. I'm fine. You look like you're in a straitjacket. Anyway, honk, deviation.
Is that a play?
Yeah, it's another one by Rebecca.
Actually,
no. It's what they do in Just a Minute. Just a Minute, the BBC Radio 4. It's again honk, deviation.
Yeah, I've never listened to BBC Radio 4.
What was I in the middle of saying when you said we look like we're in straitjackets?
Something about a woman called Rebecca.
No.
We're not that far away from something. What? It doesn't matter. We're both penniless artists and we're going to be fine, you know?
Mm.
Also, we're just so bad at admin. This is why doing a podcast is quite scary, because we're both so bad at doing anything organizational that's good for us. We don't. I remember speaking to somebody and she was like, yeah, every Sunday we sit down and we talk about what we're going to do for the week, who's going to have the kids this day, when we're going to have time for ourselves, when we're going to go to the gym, when we're going to go to the cinema, when we're going to go on date night. We put it all out there and we do that in an hour meeting on a Sunday night. And then we don't have to worry about we don't have to talk about that stuff during the week. And it's like, I don't think we've ever had a chat about anything really that involves organization. Whenever I try to talk about admin with you or anything, anything serious.
That at once sounds like it would completely change my life for the better and might be my worst nightmare. It would completely remake my everyday and be to my benefit entirely. And I can't stand the sound of it.
But I have said that to you. I have said to you so many times, okay, listen, I want to do everything with the kids this week. All I need is this period of time and this period of time. And you just have to come back at 5, cook dinner, help me from 5 onwards. But you get up and go and you do your thing, blah, blah, blah. And even then, you're like this kind of drifter. You do your couple of hours and then you're like, oh, hey, you just pop up. You're not very good at just following through. You feel this obligation. You do feel this obligation to be around when actually I would be fine.
I do my couple of hours work and then I come back and drift back and go, what's everybody up to?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm very often hungry.
You just need to, and then you go off again. But it would be better if you just stayed, because once
to read my book
do you remember
in a pub. So last night I was reading I wanted to find a place to do my bit.
Whenever you come back, it's actually more disruptive.
Right.
And then, so do you remember when we used to get into little fights? Because I would say, oh, you're here now. Oh, great. Oh, can you just change the zappy and can you do this? And you'd be like, no, I'm not actually here. It's like, no, you are. You've come back. So you can do that now.
But I still have to do the thing that I've said I needed to do.
Yeah, but it's your fault.
I know, but if we had another room for me to be in, I would be like in a separate work environment.
We don't have an office. We're not, come on.
No, I know. But I'm saying if we did have a work environment, then you could say, then I would be working and I would be working uninterruptedly for that period of time.
I know.
Because I'm working in this room, you say, it makes me sound a lot worse when you say, can you change a nappy? And I go, no, I'm actually working. It's like, nice one in how you fucking Goebbels.
Goebbels?
Hitler's propaganda.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. I think that we've saved this. We've saved it. We've talked about my longing for another baby / pregnancy. Did
we do a jazzy intro?
No.
We're going to put dramatic music under.
Should we do that at the end and we'll cut it into the beginning, or do you want? I think this listener to this first episode, you're now going to hear Alfie try and do a very jazzy comedy podcast opening, and he's going to have to redo it a few times, and you can listen to all the versions just for fun.
I think I want to get this first time, actually.
I don't think you will. Try. What are you going to say about the podcast first?
Hello and welcome to Before We Break Up Again, the new podcast from me, Alfie Brown, and you.
I'm not speaking.
Jessie Cave. Brackets, trolleyed Sky One, close brackets. This is an exercise in self-excavation. We've had goes after go. We've had, you were right.
Go on, take two. Energy.
Okay.
Go.
Hello and welcome to Before We Break Up Again, the new podcast from me, Alfie Brown, and her, Jessie Cave. She doesn't like doing intros. On this episode, we talk about how many different times we've done this first episode and scrapped it. We've squabbled, we've fought, we've struggled with our own podcasting identity, how falsified everything seems when you're performing it to the camera, like this right now. I'm even going to put some dramatic and wholly inappropriate, given the nature of the podcast music, underneath this for comedic purposes. But it is not a comedy podcast in the traditional sense. What I'm going to do is the music is going to move through, and then I'm going to round it off at the end as I introduce it. So the final bit of music will coordinate perfectly with the final thing that I say. And that, with the rousing sense of anticipation that is building underneath this, with the music as it continues, we think, what is this podcast going to be? I'll tell you, absolutely nothing like this. This is a completely inappropriate introduction for the nature of this extremely honest, kind of brutal, unvarnished conversation that Jessie and I have. I hope that it's amusing and cathartic, and like and subscribe and all of that stuff. This is Before We Break Up Again.
Was your phone on airplane mode? Just because that's going to really affect things. That sound. Genuinely. Silly.
It's only if you're getting a text message it does that.
Okay, cool. I think you need to do that again because that wasn't great. It was.
What notes do you have?
I have just be a little bit more concise.
A little bit.
Just quite. You're very impressive, but I think keep it just a bit smaller, clearer, and smile when you talk. Maybe.
Okay.
Try and do it within 15 seconds as well.
Okay.
No, 30 seconds. Okay, ready?
And listener, if it cuts out right now, it means I got the take. Okay. And if so, thank you very much for listening. See you again.